Good evening and a heartily welcome to one and all present here. I am Kintu Saud. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you for the second Conversations program. It is to celebrate 25 years of Sparrow's existence and work. I request all of you to please put your mobile phones on silent mode. Let me tell you that these 25 years have been an extraordinary journey which has given Sparrow immense joy and satisfaction. But also let me tell you that it has been a struggle and an uphill task that the Sparrow team has committed itself to. Do enroll yourself for Sparrow Tour to see and experience Sparrow's vast collection of books, print, visuals, photographs, newspaper cuttings, films, posters, and various other publications. Some of the publications are displayed over here. Please do have a look at them. So, let's start today's Conversations program. Today's Conversations program, Dr. C.S.Lakshmi will be talking to Sumathi Murthy. Dr. C.S.Lakshmi is a Tamil writer who writes in the pen name of Mumbai. She is one of the co-founders of Sparrow and is currently the director of Sparrow. Sumathi Murthy is someone who has accomplished the difficult task of combining music and activism and making both an integral part of her life. Before we begin the conversation, let us have some interesting photographs from Sumathi ma'am's album. And now, let's listen to some recorded musical notes in Sumathi ma'am's voice. We will be listening to a kajri in Rag Pillu.
नहीं आए रे, पिया नहीं आए, पिया नहीं आए रे, पिया नहीं आए, पिया नहीं आए माँ, पिया नहीं आए, पिया नहीं आए रे, का करूँ गुइया, पिया नहीं आए रे, का करूँ गुइया, ಏನು ಮಾಡಲೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಲೆ, घेरी घेरी आयो कारी बदरिया, घेरी घेरी आयो कारी बदरिया, पिया नहीं आए, पिया नहीं आए, पिया नहीं आए, ये का करूँ प्रिया बरलिಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಲೆ ಸಖಿ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಲೆ ಸಖಿ, 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 ಪ್ರಿಯ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಲೆ ಕರಿ ಕರಿ ಮೋಡ, ಕರಿ ಕರಿ ಮೋಡ, ಕರಿ ಕರಿ ಮೋಡ, ಕವಿದಿದೆ ನೋಡ, ಕರಿ ಕರಿ ನೋಡ, 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 ಕವಿದಿದೆ ನೋಡ, ಕರಿ ಕರಿ ಮೋಡ, ಕವಿದಿದೆ ನೋಡ, ಪ್ರಿಯ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಿಯ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಲೆ ಸಖಿ, ಪ್ರಿಯ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಲೆ ಸಖಿ.
Wow, with that music still ringing in our ears, I would like to invite Dr. C.S.Lakshmi and Sumathi Murthy to please come on the stage and begin their conversation.
So, Gintu, shall we start our conversation now? Sumathi, Gintu said that it's a great pleasure to have this meeting. But for me, it's a rare pleasure because I've talked with you for several years. I've talked with you about your guru and about so many things in your life. But we've never had a chance to talk about everything in one session. You know, we have had different sessions. When we have traveled, we have talked so many things. But I think this is a good occasion to collect it all together. And normally when we begin anything in music, we begin with a small Hamsadwani. So can we do it? A little bit, 2 minutes of Hamsadwani.
I'll sing Jinjuti instead of
Yeah,
Hamsadwani.
Jinjuti, okay. That was a wonderful beginning, Suma. Your mother is a traditional sculptor. She is my friend. And she's also very fond of Carnatic music. So can you tell me something about the atmosphere in which you grew up? You're the only child of your parents. So I would like to know what kind of atmosphere you grew up in.
My earliest memories of my childhood is mostly with my aunt than my mother. My aunt used to be a singer. She passed away because she passed away at a very young age of 32 or 34. And ever since I was born, I was more attached to her is what I hear from others. But then I remember my memories were like completely of my childhood were from her. But she's the one who was taking care of me, like teasing me constantly, and like she was not well, but then I used to be around, and then she would say, "Look, it's raining," and then I would imagine rain. So it was that kind of a relationship, and she couldn't play with me while I as a child wanted to play. So then we would sit and watch several animals in different colors. So, and that imagination I think started because of her, the imagining what cannot happen, but that kind of an atmosphere, the kind of sharing of things and so on. Then when and then my memories about my mother and me and my house was mostly like noisy house, extraordinarily noisy house, because constantly there's hammering going on. So it is like certain times, like when you sit in peaceful places, you will feel, my God, how is it this place is not noisy and I'm not able to adjust kind of feeling.
That's because your mother worked on stone, you see.
Yeah. And I got used to it from the childhood, so I would find peace and silence terribly impossible to handle. And then second thing is that that house where we lived in Baswangudi is a house which several artists, very senior artists in India came to that house. So in search of Mr. Vadiraj, who is my mother's guru and whom I used to call Mama. And my childhood friends were Mama and my teacher, Ram Raoji. So before I met Ram Raoji, this whole thing about the house means it is like some celebration was happening always. And at the same time, we would, Amma was like, at some point I realized that, I'm actually probably a hindrance to Amma's work, because I was demanding more time from Amma, but Amma would give me 2 hours in a day. So like I had to wait for those 2 hours. So I think eventually somehow she figured out the best way is to put her off to music so that I can work better, I can get more time to work. But I remember early memories when she one day tested my skills in music, and she had also learned music, so
Yeah,
she
Carnatic
tested.
music
Yeah,
she has learned.
she tested my skills, and she thought that I was good. And before which, another incident she has written in her autobiography also, which I came to know much later. So as a child of 4 years or 3 years, I had gone for a concert with my mother, and there were other senior artists like Subbarao, Mr. Subbarao, and then Veerbhadraya and all of them. I believe the performer was singing something in Bhupali, and he left it incomplete. So I kind of completed those swaras as a child. So that's why my mother thinks I was, and then those people said, oh my God, what is this? So this girl like kind of knows. So my mother thought that I should be put into music seriously, but I realized later that I was not really so talented as she thought. Because when I struggled hard, I realized what I was. So that was the atmosphere at home.
Your mother learned Carnatic music, and also your aunt, isn't it?
No, aunt learned Hindustani.
Hindustani.
Yeah.
So is that the reason why you started on Hindustani? Or your mother just thought that you were...
Mother learned in Carnatic music because of force. I don't think she was interested. She
Acha.
only liked to listen to music. Even now she loves to listen to a lot. She was more interested in drawing, painting, and then seriously got into sculpture.
Yeah.
This whole thing of learning music in these kind of Brahmin families is mostly for groom seeing and for a marriage. Until at the moment you start taking it seriously, then it becomes a big threat to the family itself, which encourages you to take music. That same family will feel it's a threat. Oh my God, what is happening, kind of thing. No, but basically my aunt was the first one to shift into Hindustani music. Like she faced quite a lot of opposition saying you're learning Muslim music. So she struggled, which I also struggled later. Because I clearly, distinctly remember one incident which is extremely funny, and I've written about it also. In the sense, I had just started learning Hindustani music, and I had learnt one composition at that point of time, which is Allah Jaane, Mola Jaane, Ali Nabi ko noor baras gayi, jag mein det girahwa, Allah Jaane, Mola Jaane. This was the composition in Todi.
Yeah.
So I was practicing, I think more than 6 months or 8 months I was learning. Then it was Ganesha festival, so my grandmother took all the cousins, and it was this whole practice in those Brahmin colonies to go house to house and see each Ganesha, sing, dance, get food, eat, and then come out. So turn by turn, each cousin was getting a chance to sing. My turn came, I sang this, my grandmother threw me out, saying, how dare you sing Muslim music, this is not happening. So, and then, so it was like, we did have that kind of, but it was more fun, it was not so much of a struggle. Of course, grandma was not very happy that I learnt, and then she challenged once, said that if you sing, if you give your first concert within the age of 12, then I'll give you a present. She didn't give me anything, though I performed when I was 11. But then, that's all because of the prejudice that runs in. So I think my aunt must have suffered more than me.
Yeah, did she talk to you about it, your aunt?
No, I was too young to understand.
Too young, yeah.
She died when I was 6 years.
Who chose this Guru Ram Rao Naik? He's a legend in his lifetime.
I see, the thing is, accidentally my aunt went to Ramraoji. She was first learning from Shamala Bhave. She was not very happy, and then she somehow managed to ask through and then find out, and so she reached Ramraoji, and then by the time she reached Ramraoji itself, she was not well. Something seriously had affected her, and then her body, it was rheumatoid arthritis, so she couldn't even stand straight. She couldn't keep her back straight, so it was difficult for her to. But then Ramraoji used to come home and teach her. He would come on cycle and teach her. So I had seen Ramraoji when I was a child, and I used to call him Krishna Mamu. So And then I think when she figured out that because at that point of time when Ramarajji would come and teach, everyone would sit and wait and listen to what they are being taught and so on. So I think I'm sure my mother must have met and like they know each other. Like apart from that, Vadiraj Mama was a neighbor to my Ramarajji. So they knew each other. So there were lots of connections, and so he was like a family friend. So obviously, when you think of a good guru, my mother only chose Ramarajji and just dumped me out there.
And you were about 6 when you started learning?
9.
9.
My mother took me at the age of 6. Ramarajji said, no, come back after 2 years or 3 years. I don't think right now she'll be able to take it seriously. So when I went back at 9, at the age of 9, at that point of time, my preoccupation, my entire fantasy was that I'll become a dancer. I loved dancing, all kinds of dancing, not necessarily Bharatanatyam or anything. Basically, body flexibility and body movement, which I retain even now. I really love that body movement kind of thing. But then my mother was very insisting and she put me into music, so I had no choice.
But you told me once that Ramarajji used to teach you like as if he was playing with you, he used to teach you. Can you tell us something about that?
His teaching method is very interesting. So it so happened that initially for first 6 months, we managed to pay some fees to him. Later we couldn't because Amma wasn't earning and Appa wasn't earning too much to give fees. This is like a luxury, no? So initially the first 6 months it was more like a 1 hour class kind of thing or a half an hour class kind of thing, like any other hobby classes. So when I couldn't pay a fee, my mother said maybe we'll just see if it's our luck. But we didn't go. After 6 months, after 3 months, I think Ramarajji said I can't come cycle every day and come here, so why don't you send her? So we said fine, but I was going and then I stopped because I couldn't pay a fee. So he called up one day and said, why you're not coming? So I just gave it to my Amma. Amma said, this is the deal. And he said, you must be mad, just send her. Don't think about the fee and all. And it's something very strange in my life. I realized today that all my gurus, except for one guru, all my gurus have taught me free.
Without taking fees?
Nobody. Not one paisa.
That's a very rare experience.
Till today. I mean, in this generation, I don't think it can be possible.
Yeah.
Even the guru whom I'm learning right now from, she's also not taking any money from me. It's a gift, I think. It's like a blessing. And then, so he, when I started going, then it became more like a, I would listen more and then I would sit through other people's sessions of teaching. And then I developed a very friendly relationship with him. So I told him once, I really lost my cool and I told him once, I'm getting really irritated. You are continuously boring me. You are not as a child I can't go play outside. There's nothing, like no friends also. Just look at my pathetic condition. So he said, you don't have friends. So what am I? I'm like, then you play with me. So we used to play cricket. And that, the thing, what is it called? Aluguli mane.
Yeah.
It's called palanguli.
Palanguli,
yeah. That and all we used to sit and play because, so because I challenged him, he got obliged and for like 6 months or 8 months we did this. So some amount of playing and then singing, which became such a practice that till the end, either before class or after class, every day when I would go, we would go for a walk, chat, walk, just tease people on road and, talk about women's bodies, talk about men's bodies, talk about other people and talk about beauty and all that. We would chat and come back and then have a class. So till the end we had that practice. That's where that whole first half an hour or post music, that half an hour spending together was happening.
Later when you grew up, you gave him pillion rides on your scooter.
Yeah, he taught me how to ride, and then of course I did. I almost became like a secretary to him. I mean, this is such a rare experience that initially during the school time and all, like in the morning, if I reach his house by 7 o'clock, he will have a class in Gandhi Bazaar. So what he would do is he would lock me up with one phrase and say, till I come back, sing it.
To practice it.
If it is school time, somebody will come and open exactly at 9. I'll reach my school at 9:15. If it is not a school time, then I'll be locked inside till he comes back. It could be afternoon 1 o'clock. So 7 to 1, I'll be singing one phrase. This was the kind of practice I had with him.
He was a very rare guru. And you learned 16 years from him.
17 years.
17 years you learned from him.
Continuously.
And till the end he was teaching you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Actually, the thing is that last 3 years it so happened, there was some, I cannot tell you, but then there was a serious issue in his family. So, some kind of pressure built up on him to earn more money. So, he was desperate for it. So, what I tried was like, then, because the concert scene is always like a celebrity performs or a younger person performs, and then you're not ready to listen to the people who have already heard, or you're not like, the whole concert trends are very different. They will not understand these needs of musicians, which is exactly why I felt that, there is a need to employ musicians to take care of their lives, otherwise we're going to lose a lot of them. So I had plans for it also. That's a different deal. So when this thing happened, then I felt that that we must do something. So I started giving him ideas. I gave him idea in terms of like, why can't we change the concert pattern? If we present something more educational to the audience, then audience will be more interested. So that's how we first started Malhar Utsav. And where all students of Ramraoji, including Ramraoji, would perform. So this theme would be there. So then in first Malhar Utsav when we did, we collected poems on rain written by various different people related to how each Malhar would be, and so we would keep on singing. So each student was trained to sing one or the other Malhar. So we covered almost 8 or 10 Malhars. And then Ramraoji finally concluded with Miyaki Malhar. So that was the idea, and that was very successful. After that, we did on Yaman, that is Kalyan series, like Puriya Kalyan, and then Sham Kalyan, Jayat Kalyan. So that we did the entire Kalyan series.
Okay.
So in this process, we did a Thumri Utsav in 1999, and he was fit and fine. He performed extraordinary. Like, that concert hall was full. Suddenly, donations showered. We had collected 15,000. The concert was full. Like, it was raining heavily. So, a lot of people came much before the timing. They were ready. We finished performing. Then everyone was happy about the whole idea, the way each one sing. And that particular day, it was very strange that we had organized in such a manner that we went by content of Thumri. So what Thumri meant, how it developed, what is the content, how erotic it is, why is it like that. So in between, Ramraoji would have to sing in the second one, fourth one, eighth one, 12th Thumri. So he was like fit and fine to sing. Like, he would, the moment announcement came, he knew at this is exactly at 90 years. He would start attack. As soon as the announcement stops, he will start. More than students. So that much of this thing he was. Then second day after the performance, I went home. I figured out that he has some headache. And then I said, I'll take you to the doctor. He said, no, it's okay, I can manage, but I can't sleep. So I said, no, there must be something wrong. Come, I'll take you to the doctor. I just took him to the doctor in Bangalore. There was some Bangalore nursing home or something. I took him there. They said immediately, please admit he's having what's it called? A block in the blood clot in the brain. So it's serious. So like that, within a week, he passed away.
Oh, really? But he was quite old.
He was, I can't say he's quite old. For me, he was never.
He was never old.
Only actually, seriously, only in the last week of his life, I realized he's very old.